The day I discovered social media advertising and the power of it, I was like, I will never be able to look back from this. I promise you that anybody can do it.
You might have somebody on your team right now that could take this on and learn it themselves.
Once you start seeing the results, it's like,
it really is.
Oh my goodness.
I tried Facebook ads. They didn't work.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I promise you that sentence is killing your business. Facebook ads are the secret weapon to skyrocketing your business growth in the next 12 months. And today we're going to show you how. Did you know that 70% of businesses report achieving their highest ROI, return on investment, with Facebook ads outperforming other platforms like Google, LinkedIn? So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how this powerful tool can transform your business growth. I'm so excited because joining me today is Tara Zerker. She is from the Successful Ads Club. Tara and her team have been running Facebook and Instagram ads now for over a decade, and they've helped their clients generate over $55 million in annual revenue. So Tara's team specializes in small businesses who spend $5,000 a month on ads or less, which is a lot of the people listening. So I'm so excited to have her here. Tara, welcome to Well-Oiled Operations.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, this is going to be so fun. And we're friends. I've actually, my team has used all of your programs. So I've got a lot of questions where I want to dive in. So before we jump in though, can we just set the record straight for all of this language we're going to be using? Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Meta ads, right? We're probably going to interchange them often. So I just want to make sure everybody listening knows whatever we say, it's all together, it's all combined. So Tara, I would love to ask you, who should be running ads in your opinion? What types of businesses or size of business do you find they should be stepping out past just organic free advertising and actually taking that plunge into paid traffic?
Okay, so our community is pretty diverse. We have course creators, coaches, and consultants. We have service-based providers. We have brick and mortar and e-commerce, about 25%, believe it or not, of each of those categories. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you that those who have been running ads, or, maybe they just started running ads, they're like, why did I not start this on day one of my business? List building, getting your offers out there. I mean, it is so powerful. And the cool thing is, you don't have to have a massive budget to get started. And I know we'll probably talk a little bit more about that, but those are the things you need to know, like day one. And if you're beyond day one, immediately. And I know I'm biased, but here's the thing, you guys. My initial kind of business ventures were agencies. I've owned a ton of agencies, and we did organic. It was all organic. Everything back in the day was blogging and SEO, and then social media and all the things. The day I discovered social media advertising and the power of it, I was like, I will never be able to look back from this. And eventually we trimmed our services down to only provide advertising services and now training. And I was like organic to the max. I was organic girl. That's what I did. My agencies revolved around it. And I made pretty massive business decisions simply because I saw the power of advertising.
So good. Yeah. In the beginning, you really need people to know who you are. So yes, it's just adding fuel, right, to the fire. And then also I have found that a lot of people that come to me, they want me to help them grow their business. They're like, we've been stuck at, 700,000 or 500,000. We just can't get past that number. And I'm like, okay, how are you acquiring clients? What are you doing? And they're just like, organic, right? And it's, to me, I'm thinking it's screaming, you are past just organic traffic. You have done everything you can. You've been fishing in that same pond for so long and it's drying up. So I think you're right saying it's never too early, but then also if you're somebody super experienced, but we see many successful businesses past $1 million in annual revenue who are living off referrals, which is awesome. But at the same time, imagine what you could do if you were playing in all of those fields. So I love it. Okay. Let's talk about in-house, meaning somebody on my team runs my own ads, right? Versus actually hiring an agency. Maybe somebody listening is deciding where should I go? What should I do? What are the costs around that? What do they need to know?
Absolutely. Okay. So we have a rule of 5K. And essentially now lots of people, they play, within the recommendation that I'm going to give you right now, but this is a pretty safe recommendation. And it comes from a little bit of a backstory. I developed a reputation in rehabbing problematic and really expensive accounts. And I used to do these consultations that were hundreds of dollars per hour for me to look at your ad account. And I did a ton of them, just a ton of them. And I would go pretty deep with them and look at even as far as their P&L and say, okay, this is where it makes sense to hire it out. And this is absolutely not serving you to be paying an agency anywhere. And you guys, I mean, an agency, a good agency who knows what they're doing these days, costs anywhere from $2,500 to $7,500 per month to start managing your budget, to start.
And that's not including the money they want you to spend on the platform.
That's exactly right. So you can just imagine how this adds up very quickly.
Yeah.
And when you are beginning with ads, you typically want all of your budget to go into the ads. And as you start to experience success and you know what works and what doesn't, that's a great time to pass off your ad account to an agency. Once you're spending anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 per month, you're in a really good place for your P&L to stay healthy if you're going to pass this off. If you're not, and you want to be hiring an agency first, you just have to know that it might not look good on your bottom line, but you are really choosing to do this out of convenience. You might say, listen, it's going to cost me $3,500 a month to hire this agency. I'm choosing that out of convenience. And I know it might be a little bit rough on the bottom line, but I want to have them get in there and work on it for a few months and then see if they can scale it. So you just have to make some trade-offs and decisions there. But I would say a very healthy range would be if you're managing this in-house, either yourself or a team member, and you're spending less than $5,000, you want to do this yourself. That's a pretty standard recommendation. And the good news is it's pretty easy to do yourself as well, especially at those lower budgets. As you scale, there's more that goes into it.
Yeah. And I'm practicing what I'm preaching here. So my studios that are under $5,000 per month in ad spend, we are doing them in-house. We are still a multiple 7-figure per year company, but our ad spend is just not what it's like inside of Well Oiled, right? Yeah. So in Well Oiled, I have an agency that is definitely pricey, right? And we're spending a lot of money on ads per month. In my studio, it's just a different ballgame. We're local. We have like a 5 to 10 mile radius and we're touching Lake Michigan. So half of my radius is a lake that nobody lives in, right? It's just a different ballgame. So I really do think the advice that Tara is giving is really true. It's not biased. And it's hard to justify me hiring somebody for $2,500 a month on a minimum, right? And I have to make back how many clients just to pay for them running the ads, on top of me spending even more money on the ad spend itself. So I think that's just good for everybody to hear what they should be doing specifically. Now, if somebody says, whoa, I cannot do this myself. I don't even know how to log into Facebook. That sounds terrifying. What would you say to, who do you find? How do you find somebody on your team? What does that look like?
Yes. Okay. So we have a ton of people that send a team member through. It can be a VA, a marketing assistant. You guys, this is the way that we have systematized ads. It takes a couple of hours to set up, and you're going to start getting data that very same day. That data could actually look like leads coming in. It could look like sales coming in, kind of depending on your funnel and your product and all of that. But it's very simple to do. So we have a ton of people that will send a team member through, which is a very effective way to do it. But I will also tell you, it's not as scary as it seems, especially when you have somebody walking you through it step by step. And there's lots of programs out there. There's so many great trainings. Our specialty is walking people through it step by step through one-on-one guidance. And we do those over Zoom calls. So it's like very specific instruction, but there's so many amazing resources. Even Facebook has its own free resources on how to set these up. Now, I'm going to take a little intimidation factor out for folks, hopefully, when I say this. I personally have trained more people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, on how to do ads. And let me tell you, like you would hire them. You, Stacy, would probably hire them. They are so good, but they're doing this for side projects, things they're doing in retirement. None of them are wanting to work full time. They just have always wanted to maybe dabble with executive coaching, and they set up a little business to do that, whatever the thing is. But if they can do it, I promise you that anybody can do it, because they are killing it. They are so good. I know that it is a new skill set, but it is also a new skill set that will follow you project to project, business to business, whatever you're launching. Just knowing that you know how to do it, or you have a team member that knows how to do it, and you don't have to depend on somebody else. I don't know. To me, there's like a freedom there too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been running Facebook ads. I mean, I don't even know how long Facebook ads have been a thing. I'm going to say maybe 10 years. What do you think? 10 years? Okay. So we've always done them in-house, and they've always just been somebody on the team. They've never had experience in Facebook ads. Like, that's not their sweet spot, but you just kind of know your person where, okay, they're a little techy. They're ready. They can figure out Instagram, and they know how, like, tech doesn't scare them. And then when they have the step-by-step instructions and they just follow it, it's not as hard as it sounds. So I do want to make sure you might have somebody on your team right now that could take this on and learn it themselves. Okay. So I heard you say in the beginning, you were known for, kind of rehabbing some not great accounts. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see when people first come to you and you look at their already established ads accounts? Hey, are you a business owner that's looking to not just increase their revenue, but actually have it positively impact your profit without you working more? Because let's be honest, there isn't any more time in the day. If so, I want to invite you to my free training called Protect Your Profit. I'm going to be breaking down our 3-part well-oiled operations framework. We're going to be going over the plan, the people, and the process. This training is completely free. We've already had over 100,000 small business owners join us, as this is one of our most popular trainings in Your Unlock, because we've got another one coming up very soon and it will be live. The strategy I'll share in this training is how we landed on the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies in America list the last 2 years in a row. And I'll show you how to create a winning team of revenue generators, people that actually make you money, not cost you money, even if you don't think you can afford it. Go to welloiledclass.com and get registered for free. You'll walk away from this session with strategies you can actually implement and apply immediately, as well as I'll be gifting my 16-page hiring handbook, how to recruit, hire, and train top-tier talent. So come hang out with me and a few other 100 small business owners who are all looking to scale their business while scaling back their time. So get signed up for free at welloiledclass.com or click the link in the show notes, and I will see you there.
Okay. Mistake number 1 is not running conversion ads. So there's several types of ads that you can run on Facebook. There's traffic ads, there's reach ads, there's all these different types of ads. 30% of all of Facebook's billions and billions of dollars in revenue, hundreds of billions of dollars of revenue comes from only 30% comes from conversion ads. Yet, like 80% of conversions on Facebook are from conversion ads. And so the thing is, the products that Facebook wants to push you into are the ones that don't require any back-end setup. They're super easy to set up. You can literally, run one of these ads or boost a post or something like that within a few seconds to a few minutes. However, they are very ineffective in terms of conversion. And I have a feeling that everybody listening in, correct me if I'm wrong, Stacy, they want emails, phone numbers, and credit card transactions. I mean, you want purchases, customers, clients. So you want to be running a type of ad that's called a conversion ad, and that is going to put you into a stream of traffic that has a history on Facebook of opting into things, of getting free information, free quotes, consultations, booking calls, things like that. Becoming customers and clients from ads. Mm-hmm. So that puts you into that very premium stream of traffic. So that's a huge mistake number 1. I could share so many client stories about just fixing that one thing. It's literally pushing a couple buttons and installing a pixel on your website will change the game. The other big mistake is running ads to low intent audiences. And I'm sure, Stacy, I know you are very familiar with this, but the first big pain point that you encounter as soon as you set up your ads is, oh my goodness, how do I find high intent customers and clients? And so making sure that you're running to the right audiences that have a history of converting is like the next biggest mistake.
So good. So with that said, I will say this, when we say conversion ads, I'm picturing, for me, it's like, come take a free trial, right? We're trying to get their name, their email, their phone number to get them in the door. One thing I would suggest is look around your community, what other your competitors, what are they doing? Because before, our free trial used to work like gangbusters. All of a sudden it started to not work that well. It was because everybody was offering it, right? So you can't offer this conversion ad. It can't be what everybody else is already doing, or you're going to have massive competition. So make it so juicy that they actually want to give you their name, their email, their phone number, all of the things. So just a little tip there, because this is going to be huge, but it's got to be the right call to action as well.
Yes, I love that. Like when you see everybody doing the same thing, you want to see how can you make a sharp right turn? Like how can you do something that's a little bit different, but still very enticing?
Yeah, so good. What is something that is working now? I mean, I know Facebook ads are always changing. You just have to stay up to date. One of the reasons we had joined your program was because we can't be going off of old data, 2023, 2020 information, right? So what is working now, or maybe what is something that's been always pretty consistent?
Yeah. Okay. So I know a lot of folks listening in have service-based businesses or perhaps local businesses. So there's a few things that work really, really well strategy-wise. Now, these will not work for other business types, right? So I'm going to be really specific, but running about 10% of your budget to your top performing reels as video views or engagement or reach, there's lots of ways to set that up, is super effective, especially when it comes to local zip codes. And there's certain videos that will work a little bit better, but if you take one of your top performing reels, and of course it has to be relevant to your business, that will usually do the trick if we're just kind of going super big picture here. Yeah. The other thing is making sure that 60 to 70% of your budget is going towards those conversion ads, which we talked about. And those are honestly better than ever. Now, the really cool thing for those two categories of businesses is Facebook has done so much work in the last 2 years to really improve a type of ad that's on platform, doesn't require a landing page or anything like that. And they're called lead gen ads. You guys, it's almost crazy how simple they are to set up. You need to have a good offer. You need to have a fantastic follow-up. If you've got those two things, these are converting extremely well for those two business categories, excuse me. And then the third thing is just making sure that you've got retargeting. More than ever, retargeting is so important. So this is if somebody is picking, they're picking up kids, they're in the grocery store line, whatever it is, they see your ad and all of a sudden they're distracted because now they need to pay, or the kids come and hop in the car, whatever the thing is. This is making sure that your ads make their way back to that person at a later time. Now, this is very important for advertisers and often goes overlooked, but we're seeing more than ever, retargeting is working so well right now. And it always has. It always has. But particularly for local businesses, particularly for service-based providers, this is critical. This is mission critical.
Yeah. And it's just, we're busy and we get distracted and there's so much going on. So who doesn't need the extra little ping or reminder of, hey, I thought you wanted this, right? So I think that's so important for us to remember. I think we get really kind of just stuck on one ad with one message, and we think that's all they need to see. And that's just not how the world works today.
Yeah, absolutely. If I could tell everybody, we have an approach called the button, buy up the newsfeed. We want everybody, you want to, versus, I don't want to bother people too much. Yeah. No, you want to be in front of them. If I could make it so every single one of you, there was you're the only show in town and there is no competition. It is just you. That's how I would design your ads. Now, unfortunately, Facebook puts controls in so that it's not that way, but you want to buy up the newsfeed. You want to be the only show in town.
Yeah. What's so funny is people will say to me sometimes, I just, I see you everywhere. It just feels you're crushing it. And it's so funny. It's no, I'm paying to put that in front of you. And your perception is I'm everywhere. Right. and they have no idea if business is good or business is not good. But like you said, I'm the only show in town. And it's funny because that even has been said about me in my online business with Well Oiled, and it's just so not true, but it feels that way. And perception is huge for our buyer.
Yeah, and absolutely. And if you're the one showing up, you're the one that's in their newsfeed, guess who must have the best offering?
1000%. Yep. So good. Okay. How do we pick a budget? This is one of the biggest questions I get asked is like, well, where do I start? What do I gamble on? Like, what should I do, Tara?
Yeah. What should I gamble on? Okay. So we want to spend as minimal amount as we need to in order to see certain data points, at which point we will start to scale budget. But a really good, solid starting point for everybody. If you are looking for leads, for example, $10 a day is going to get the job done. Now, if you are doing free quotes, consultations, things like that, probably going to want to spend more like $20 a day to start. These are starting budgets. You're going to spend a very small amount to see the data you need to see and then decide what to scale. As you start seeing results on the back end, you're going to want to start scaling that budget up very quickly. Trust me, Stacy and I both know. I guess gambling, it is somewhat of an addiction. Once you start seeing the results, it
really is.
Oh my goodness, if I just double that budget, or now maybe I'm spending $40 a day. And what I'm seeing on the back end is like, my capacity.
Why would you not do it?
Why would you not do it? Yeah.
Yeah. And so our online business in Well Oiled, we are over $200,000 a month in ad spend. Yeah. And that would have just terrified me. That would have been like, what? However, you don't start with these crazy numbers, right? You start with 500 and then 500 feels easy when you just made 1,000 and then you go to 1,000 and it keeps working. And sometimes it doesn't work. And you're like, okay, let's figure out what happened. Right. And then you try again. And we literally have gone from, 10 grand a week to 20 grand a week to 50 grand a week. And we're not going to stop. Like our numbers are great. So it's more for me of getting the team streamlined, systematized. Do we have capacity? Okay, let's hire, let's get more capacity. And then we go scale again, which is really exciting. So we would not be in the position we're in without Facebook ads. Like it's just, it would not be as big as it is without that paid traffic source.
100%. And I think every business that starts with ads and sees those results, they're all doing the same thing. They're all doing the same thing. This is how businesses grow. Advertising is what creates advertising and marketing, not for all industries, but for most, this is what creates growth in business.
Yeah. And I will tell you, I was never really an Instagram shopper. If I heard somebody I liked say, you need to buy this, I would buy it. But if I got an ad for a pair of pants, I'm not. Recently, I've started to catch myself be like, what are these? Okay, let me check this out. Wow, this looks legit. And I'll kind of go down this rabbit hole. And I think we are in this time now where people are more trusting. We are really looking at like, okay, I think a good ad with good credibility, with good reviews can get our ideal client to trust us on the internet for sure.
100%.
Okay, so is there a minimum budget you absolutely would say, don't even bother if you're not going to spend X per month?
$10 a day is $300 a month. That's a great starting budget for lead building. Other objectives, probably closer to $500 to $1,000 a month.
Okay. So minimum $300 a month. You're really thinking we probably should be in that $500 to $1,000 a month range. Okay. So good. How fast should somebody expect results?
That same day. I mean, once you launch ads, you're going to be getting the data in, right? If within a couple of days, you're not seeing the conversions, again, based on your industry, your niche, your funnel type, what you're offering, there's something wrong. You can triage that, fix it, and launch again. I mean, let's say you are list building or you're building leads for your business, and let's say your budget is appropriate for what you're trying to do, you should start seeing those results right away. I mean, I know that's crazy, Stacy. Yeah. It feels like magic or something, but that is how it works, you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I turn on a new ad often and we do see it produce that day. Now, if it wasn't producing that day, that is still feedback and we shut it off.
100%.
So you're not waiting weeks to go, well, let's just see if things pick up. No, it's like, if it's not working, it's not working. Okay. I have this story I want to share of this client in Well Oiled. She didn't tell me this until it happened, but she was like, Stacy, I've been running ads for 8 months on Facebook and I have been losing, I don't know how much she was spending, but I've never really gotten anything. But now month eight, we have taken off. She's like, I have to stop the ads because I have so many leads and so many clients booking. She's like a spa. That she was like, this is crazy, right? Now, again, I didn't hear this until the 8th month when it took off. She quietly kept that to herself. What would you tell somebody like that? Because it's like, wow, oh my goodness. And then people hear it like, okay, just keep going. But what could she have done to get results sooner than month 8?
Well, it's tough to know where things were not producing, but you guys, really, truly what Stacy and I just said, like Stacy turns on an ad, she's seeing like results or enough data to say something's not working, we need to fix it the same day. You should not be running ads more than like, let's go a week max, and not seeing something on the back end that either gives you enough data to go and fix it. Now, granted, I know you need to know what to do with that data, but it's really simple. I promise. Like looking at the data, once you kind of know what numbers you should be looking at, it's simple. You just simply say, okay, this is where it's broken. I go and fix it. But you should be getting that feedback so quickly. So probably, I mean, it depends on where it was broken and why it suddenly started working. There's probably 15 common things it could be. But I would just say for everybody listening, like, just know, like within a couple of days, you should have enough to work with there.
You really have to ask yourself, what did it cost her to not get an expert involved sooner? So she's, wasting money every month, right? Let's say she was spending the $500 per month in the budget. That's a few grand we just, threw out the window. But then also the opportunity cost of what she could have gained if she knew how to do it, right? She said the business was blowing up month 8. Imagine if that was month 3. So
or month 1. I mean, $4,000. Okay, so here's the thing. I will just add on to that with ads. I feel like there's so many things we can DIY and learn and blah, blah, blah. You are actually spending legit hard-earned money when you are spending on ads. And that is why I think it freaks people out. They go to ads and then break up with them and go back and break up again and say, okay, I'm going to try this one more time. It doesn't work. But they know that their competitors are having success. So it always lures them back in, right? But in that case, let's say if she was spending $500 a month, that's $4,000.
Yeah.
And when you are a business owner, you're trying to maximize every dollar spent. And so you really want to make sure that, Stacy probably could have, or anyone on Stacy's team probably could have just said, let's pause that and get the right resource, figure what's going wrong. Turn to the people in your business community and get that feedback sooner than later. Cause you're literally wasting, in that case, it could have been $1,000 a month, but
who knows?
Thousands of dollars. Every decision that you make that's not the most optimized one, every day that you wait is just wasting your money.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, I would love to hear from our listeners below. Are you running ads and how long did it take you to get them to work? I'm interested. Now, Tara, how do we ensure we are targeting the right person? We're finding the people we actually want to find.
Yeah. Well, the one big thing is you always want to test your audiences one at a time. So Facebook has, to put this big picture, they have a library full of hundreds of thousands of audiences that you can choose from. Now, we have a black book. We call our black book of audiences, where we've over tens of millions of dollars of ad spend. By industry, we see which ones are working the best. But let me give some clues. If you are local and you're looking for a local audience, I want you to start with a broad audience and zip codes that are within your target. So a lot of the mistake here people will make is they'll say, listen, I get people from, 20 miles away in this county. And it's like, no, don't do that. With Facebook ads, when you're spending money, you don't want the random customers you get. You want the core. So just go for the very core zip codes that 80% of your business comes from. Okay. So it's kind of like tip number 1, go broad, see what Facebook does with that. From there, you can start to add interest. Don't add a massive group of interests. This is going to waste a ton of your money. Test your interests one at a time. And then from there, you can start to make smart combinations of interest. If you just do that, if you just take that advice, you're going to find you are going to do very well in your local, most local businesses will do very well with their local zip codes alone. And that will be enough to get you started. From there, you can start adding on different layers.
So good. Okay, Tara, do we have time for one more question or do we need to wrap?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Amazing. This has been so good. I'm just like eating all this up. And it's one of those things where we already have your program. We already are running ads. And I'm going to say to my team, rewatch this video, make sure we're doing everything she said. Because you just never know, right? You can get complacent. You can, we start to have that curse of knowledge of, oh, I know how to set this up and I know how to do it.
No,
Wait, are we running 10% of reels or, just you never know. So much gold. If you're catching these gems that Tara is throwing at us, make sure to hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. And then Tara, last question for you. What are one or two of like the biggest common pitfalls we need to avoid that you just want to make sure everybody hears?
Oh gosh. Well, I think we covered some really good ground in saying, listen, your ad should be working from the get-go. If they're not, go in and triage that. Don't waste hundreds or thousands of dollars waiting on that information. The other big thing I would say, and we didn't touch on creative very much, but you want to make sure that your messaging is really pulling in the right high intent customer or client. And Stacy, I'm sure you've seen this inside of your ads. We certainly have, where even changing a couple of sentences can suddenly affect massively the quality of the lead that you're getting. And not that, everybody is, amazing and wonderful, but we're looking for certain qualifications and requirements when we are attracting our customer base. And so never underestimate the power of testing your creative very smartly, strategically, and making those changes to, if you see like, my lead quality is fine, but could it be better? It absolutely could be. And usually it has to do with your copy or your visuals or something on your landing page. And so just be mindful of that. Hopefully that gives everyone enough to kind of take that and run with it. But just think through like, who am I really trying to attract? Don't be afraid to put that straight into your ads. And I know, Stacy, you could probably add to that as well. I'm sure you've seen and had experiences with just changing a few things. Suddenly you're getting a much higher intent.
Yeah. And to kind of go off of that too, it's like, I hear this all the time. I tried Facebook ads. They didn't work.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I promise you that sentence is killing your business. It's not that they didn't work. It's that you haven't learned how to work them yet, which means there's still an opportunity to figure it out. It's never too late. This platform is not going anywhere. It is truly our number one source of paid traffic besides organic leads coming in. For some of you, it might be your number one source of organic, right? Which means, oh man, if you could just put some money behind it, so much more is coming. So Tara, thank you so much for dropping so many golden nuggets today. For everybody listening, if you're under that $5,000 per month in ad spend and it just doesn't make sense to hire an agency, I highly recommend you check out Tara's program. It's called the Successful Ads Club. I told you I'm a paid subscriber. My studios are actively participating and have been now for over a year. Her group is just unique because most of these coaching programs, they're just, teaching online businesses who have this massive budget and it just doesn't apply to us. And this is a group where I found that it makes sense for my studios to participate in. So we can't afford $2,000 to $5,000 a month on an agency. And maybe you're in that boat. If that's you, go to welloiledoperations.com/ads and definitely get signed up today. Tara, thank you for your time. Any other place you want people to find you or check you out, or is that the best place to go?
That's wonderful. If you have any questions that we didn't touch on, please Instagram @TaraZerker, send me a DM. Would be happy to answer your questions.
Amazing. And we'll put all those links right in the show notes for you. All right. Thanks, everybody. We will see you in the next episode.